This has been a historical week for the United States. The trend has changed, at least in the area of guns and gun violence. Many people are trying to explain, some others are trying to excuse that it's not necessarily the gun the main culprit, that guns don't kill but people do, which in fact there's a general consensus to that effect. Some people have claimed that it's because we are a violent nation. We're in such a state of disrepair in terms of mass shootings. Some others explain mass shootings in terms of the social fragmentation of our society into racial, religious, ethnic, and other, unfortunately, situations. Others claim it's the mental health situation, the lack of mental health services that have precipitated the mass shooting attacks. I am not in disagreement with many of these explanations. They're real. But if you look at each and every instance of mass shootings, there is a common item that gets them all together. Professor Langford, a professor from the University of Alabama, explained in a 2015 study, and he said that there is a correlation between mass shootings and the presence of a weapon, of a gun. So the gun, more so than any other causes, is the principal item causing mass shootings. In the United States, beyond any other country, we have an astronomical number of guns. Some people put it in the 300 million category. In the United States, if we compare it to the rest of the world, we are 4.4% of the world's population. On the other hand, Americans own 42% of gun ownership in the world. 42%. If we compare it to a country like Japan, that has a dismal difference in terms of mass shootings, but we can say that in the United States versus Japan, any American, has a 300% higher chance of being killed by a gun than a Japanese person. Then Americans own 150 times more weapons than Japanese. And that's only Japan. If we look at other places in the world, even those known for gun ownership, let's take a look at Switzerland. Switzerland is the second country with the highest gun ownership in the world. But there is a difference. The Swiss people have adopted a rational, civilized, human approach to gun ownership. And they have many guns throughout Switzerland, many in their own homes. But you see, there is a difference because their laws for gun ownership are more stringent. Their licensing are much difficult and much more supervised. Gun sales are also supervised. And in the overall situation, guns are part of the fiber of Switzerland, but the Swiss citizen must earn the right to own that gun. In the United States, many people, sometimes misguided, feel that because of the Second Amendment, they're able to keep all types of guns. Of course, the Second Amendment has been widely interpreted, but the number one dictum in that amendment is that you can use your guns for the protection of your home. Doesn't have to be, and it shouldn't be, the military-style weapons, the AR-15s, and the many other type of rapid caliber bullets that have actually been quite impacting in the lives of the American populace. So what is it that the students at Parkland want? I would say that what we all want in the United States is to be able to see our children graduate without being shot. Shot by deranged killers, but normally in what has become a pattern, a routine in the United States, which is that mass shootings can happen anywhere in the United States. It can happen in churches, it can happen in schools, it can happen in places of public entertainment. So you and I, all of us, are more prone to have the shooting of a madman in our daily lives than in any other country in the world. So what is it that we should be doing? The Parkland students, the parents, all of us are demanding a more stringent gun control, safety in schools without being in military encampment. But they're also demanding that military-style weapons be banned and certainly be highly scrutinized if they're trying to adapt to other modifications. We need to have the rule of law, the civility of a society, in order to have a surviving future for all our citizens. I think a parent of one of the students who died at the hands of this madman in Parkland said that the security of our children should be all that matters for all of us in the United States. Rights matters, but life matters more, especially when they're impacting churches, schools, public places. If politicians, like the ones in Tallahassee, who actually refuse to hear or even discuss military-style weapons and ways of gun safety, if they refuse to listen to what the American people want, I can only say that come November, they should be looking at the want ads in the newspapers so they can get another job, and let those who are willing to work for the American people run the Congress and the state houses. It's about time that some type of rational approach can actually face the NRI-moneyed campaigns of politicians. If they can't or won't do it, the American people will elect others who are willing to work on behalf of the American people, not of certain privileged minorities. Thank you.